Hey YouTube, how's it going? I'll admit, I feel like this is the most awkward conglomeration I've come up with yet. This is my fancy new vest that I got at a yard sale for, I think my aunt paid for it, so I got it for free. And a hugely wide-brimmed hat, and I don't know, I feel kind of ridiculous. But that's okay, because it's my vlog, and if I want to look ridiculous, darn it, then I'll look ridiculous. I suppose the reason for the vest is I kind of want to look fancy, because I thought that today it would be, this was a suggestion from a friend, but I thought it would be a good day to talk about important lessons that I have picked up ever since I have entered graduate school. Now this is actually easier said than done, because truth be told, working on my associates, I learned some of the most important lessons that I've picked up thus far ever. And working on my bachelor's, I picked up even more important lessons, though. They were more steps building up from what I learned working on my associates. So when I came to grad school, I never really felt that I knew everything, but I felt that I'd already had quite a few good lessons under my belt. But I have learned a fair amount in the year that I've been doing it. One thing that I picked up that really surprised me is that even if you spend your entire life positive that you are going to hate something with a passion, you find out you actually can enjoy it quite a bit. For me, that something was teaching. All my life I've been afraid I would end up as a teacher. I don't know why. I don't know where I got this inkling that I would end up teaching, but I've always told myself there's no way I'm ever going to go into teaching. I don't want to be a teacher. I don't want to consider it. And of course, when I entered grad school, they said, hey, we'll pay your tuition if you teach a class. And I said, hey, I like free tuition. So I, of course, said, yeah, that's fine, I'll teach. And my childhood self is probably crying in a corner right now because I'm surprised. I don't like teaching. I won't say that it's something that I want to do for the rest of my life, but thus far, it's been a rewarding experience. I've learned a lot about myself. I've gained more confidence, especially in speaking to crowds and to those younger than myself. I feel like I've matured a lot just from teaching. That it's something that I never thought I would really get much out of because I was so against it, and yet because I was so against it, I think maybe I was able to change more because I wasn't thinking, oh, I'll be an awesome teacher. I went in from the get-go thinking I am going to be a crap-tacular teacher. And yeah, my first semester I was pretty awful, and I feel bad for my students because they knew I was awful and they hated me. But after my second semester, I got really good reviews and something's changed. I've picked up something and am now a decent teacher, so that's pretty awesome, I think. Another super important lesson that I learned in grad school is how important it is to go out and meet people. At my first college, we lived in one dorm. There was one dorm for the entire college, and the very first night my roommate half dragged me. I was trying to unpack, and she said, no, you can unpack later. She made me go down into the lobby of the dorm and then left for work. And even though it was a small building, I didn't know how to get back to my room. I had no clue how the building worked. So I was stuck down there, and consequently I met her friends, and I made lots of friends, and that was great. At my second college, it was a little more difficult, but we were at New Student Orientation, NSO. I met a lot of people, and while I didn't end up sticking with a lot of them for long, I did, from the few that I did stick with, the friends that I made, I was able to meet a lot more people. It was completely different with grad school, though. I know, at the beginning of the year, I was introduced to the other TAs, most of whom were older than me, some by a few years, some by quite a few years. And they all seemed much more mature than I felt. So I felt really alone for a while. It helped that I had a roommate that I got along with for the most part, but even towards the end of the year, I hadn't really met many people. Now, when the end of the year finally came, I had made one friend from class who invited me to club meetings and whatnot, and that really helped. But the whole point of this little spiel is that it's really important to get out there and make friends, because I feel like I wasted all of last year because I spent so much time on our couch in our living room or in my room just bored because I had nothing to do. I had no one to interact with. I didn't know what to do with myself. I wanted to go out. I wanted to go out biking and I wanted to go out and hang out with friends. I didn't care what I was doing. But I didn't really have that many people to just go hang out with. My other TA friends, they were often more busy than I. A lot of them held second jobs or maybe they had bigger plans for their classes than I did. And so I spent a lot of time alone, a lot of time just kind of depressed because I didn't have anything to do, no one to talk with. So it really taught me that it's important to go out and make friends and hang out with people and interact socially because it keeps you sane. The third thing that I learned in grad school that, probably the last thing I'll mention that I found to be very important is that the real world is creeping up on me fast. And this won't apply to everyone, I know. It's not knowledge that everyone can pick up, but holy crap, the real world is coming and it's coming fast. I have one more year of school and then I'm going to be just like my friends who graduated last year who spend months on end agonizing over applications and trying to get jobs somewhere, and everyone's getting married and holy cow and I don't know what to do. But I picked up in grad school that that there is a real world out there and I'm going to have to eventually join it. Now, it's not like it wasn't a real world when I was working on my associates or my bachelor's, but there was always something beyond that, something education-wise that I could do. I don't plan on getting a doctorate, though. I don't know why. I love the idea of being Dr. Keps. Admit it. That would be an awesome title. But I don't know if I really want to work for another 4 or 5 years in the same field. As is, I'm really wishing I had studied biology or psychology or something-ology instead of English because I'm so tired of reading literature and writing in this highly prose form. I don't know what to call it. I should. I'm the English major, but it's kind of dawned on me that, you know, I'm gonna have to actually go out and hold a job that I go to every week. I won't have a summer vacation where I go and work a different job. I'm gonna have to become one of them, you know, them, real people. Ooh. I hope that wasn't too depressing of a note to end on. I guess I could say that I learned in grad school that I'm not a half bad rock climber, but I'm not much of a swimmer, as I thought I was. I could tell you that I got in trouble with the police when my roommate and I were swimming and someone had drowned in the spot we were swimming in the day before and we didn't know and we weren't allowed to swim out there. I could mention that I learned that I really like geocaching, even though I haven't gone in a few months. Or that I learned that bullshitting papers is actually a lot easier than I ever thought and that I'm not half bad at it. And I can't tell if that's a good quality or not. And I learned that crocheting in class is a lot of fun when the teacher allows it. But I guess that's for another vlog altogether. At any rate, that's what I learned in grad school last year. My name is Keps and I approve this message.